And welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package. For this evening, I am your presenter, Alian Christopher. First up tonight, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. David Johnson, has confirmed with absolute certainty that there are no cases relating to hantaviruses in Dominica. Last month, the Ministry of Health and the Environment informed the general public and stated that it was awaiting confirmation of a preliminary test which indicates that one case of an unusual virus was detected here in Dominica. But now, Dr. David Johnson, along with the Ministry of Health and Environment, has announced that the results were negative. Hantaviruses are a group of viruses that are normally carried by rodents such as rats and mice. The disease does not spread from person to person. The mode of transmission of the virus is similar to that of leptospirosis. Rodent infestation in and around the home remains the primary risk for the virus exposure. The rodents shed the virus in their urine, droppings, and saliva. They cause a range of disease in humans ranging from mild flu-like illnesses to severe respiratory illnesses or hemorrhagic disease with kidney involvement. And His Excellency the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Charles Savrin, and along with Mrs. Savrin, on Wednesday conducted a tour of the Princess Margaret Hospital. The visit was part of the President's annual Christmas tour of the hospital. The President was accompanied by a few government officials and health officials, including the Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Davis Layton, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. David Johnson, among other officials. The reigning Miss Dominica, Jade Romain, who won the 2017 title, believes that while it is customary that Miss Dominica pageant takes place during the carnival season, persons must be mindful that Hurricane Maria has altered a lot of the decision making. Miss Dominica noted that Hurricane Maria left difficult circumstances and therefore decisions made by the organizers of the show should be supported.
Move the Miss Dominica 2018 pageant to April. I think it is a very interesting decision. I think that it is definitely something that we can try. It is something that we have never tried before, so all we can do is just see what happens. I think that as Dominicans, we should support whatever decision or policy that is positive and that will try to bring our country back to a sense of normalcy.
Meantime, Romain indicated that having the Calypso show as opposed to the Miss Dominica pageant does not mean that men are given more priority than the women. Romain says that she is merely thankful that the DFC did not decide to cancel the show altogether, but instead move it to a later date that she believes makes it more convenient for the participants to source sponsorship and prepare for the pageant. On that note, she laments that the destruction suffered by the private sector businesses may pose a challenge in obtaining sponsorship.
Devastating blow from Hurricane Maria, and we also know what happened in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, so our business community really went through a lot. I'm sure that they are committed, as we all are, because we all love our island, but I'm sure that they will be facing some difficulties to maybe sponsor as they would have usually done if these circumstances were not present. So the young ladies, I think, would maybe have a bit of a difficult time finding sponsors.
The reigning Miss Dominica admits that she is thrilled to serve for another year as Dominica's queen, but however, she believes that every effort must be made to host the 2018 Miss Dominica pageant. Romain urges young women to participate in the pageant regardless of the challenges they may encounter. According to her, the best advice is to be yourself. And stay tuned, there's more local news highlights coming up after the break. Welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News. The Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Binwa Badwil, has announced that well over 12,000 persons have left the country via the ferry service. Badwil also indicated that since the passing of Maria, the ferry service has been operating with no difficulties.
The Rosa Ferry Terminal has been operating without much difficulty, and the work on the restoration facility has begun, so we're repairing the facility completely now. And from September 19th to November 30th, we received some 58 ferry calls and 9,931 passengers arrived on those vessels entering Dominica. And we also had 12,648 persons utilizing the ferry service to exit Dominica.
Badwil further stated that since September 19th, over 8,000 persons exited Dominica from a call of over 700 flights.
763 flights, some 6,069 passengers landed from those flights during that period, and some 8,867 passengers have departed through the Douglas Charles Airport. All services at the Douglas Charles Airport are functional, except for direct power from Domlec.
Badwil went on to say that DASPA is currently in discussions with Domlec on ways to partner going forward. And the government of Dominica has announced that it will proceed with the designs for construction of a multi-sports complex here in Dominica. The Minister for Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment, Justina Charles, stated that the government will continue with most of its programs as articulated in the 2017-2018 budget.
Design for the multi-purpose sports facility, we knew a lot of excitement was buzzing through the country when the Prime Minister mentioned, and we discussed it in the cabinet at the budget. In fact, it was on prior to Erica. And Erica came and we set it aside because we had to redivert funds. Here comes Maria. But we can say we were in advanced stage where we were doing the designs, and we had already paid the Puerto Rican company some monies to begin the work, and so we will continue. The contract was signed, so we will pursue the designs up to the construction document for now in the first instance. Following which we will now have to review the construction timeline. Get the funds, and then we have to review when do we start and when do we complete. But definitely we can reassure the Dominican populace and all of our sports enthusiasts, we will not at this time just set it on our back burner. We will definitely continue to look at it with reviewed timelines.
In June of this year, the government of Dominica signed a contract in the region of 3.6 million EC dollars for the architectural designs of the National Multi-Sports Complex to be placed in Stock Farm. The contract was signed by Marquez and Marquez, a Puerto Rican company. And also in the news, media colleagues from Dominica will be among the first regional recipients of assistance from the Association of Caribbean Media Workers, ACM, to replace working tools lost or destroyed by Hurricanes Irma and Maria in September and October. Journalists and other media workers from Anguilla, Barbuda, Dominica and Tortola will be receiving laptops, mobile phones, digital recorders and other equipment. Media workers from the other islands will receive their equipment over the coming week through a number of other designated ACM focal points. The presentation of equipment for colleagues in Dominica will take place on Saturday, December 16th at 9 a.m. in the Mapping TV conference room in Roseau. Former ACM Assistant General Secretary Annika Kentish of Antigua and Barbuda will represent the association at that function. And finally, this evening, Chief Executive Officer of DASPA has confirmed that work on the restoration of the Roseau cruise ship berth has commenced. The cruise ship berth suffered significant damages during the hurricane, and Badwil indicates that work is being done in order for the cruise ship berth to be operational by January of 2018.
Work on the restoration of the Roseau cruise ship berth has started, and we've just this week installed new fenders, beginning to prepare ourselves for the operation, as we said, for receiving ships in January 2018. Work to repair the planks of the wharf will start soon upon the arrival of the materials, which is expected on island shortly. So we are preparing to have that done so that the ships that are scheduled for January will be accommodated. The re-roofing of the Longhouse Port is expected to begin in 2 weeks.
Last month, Badwill announced that the overall damages regarding estimates to Dominica's port infrastructure amounted to 51 million EC dollars. And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package for this evening. If you've missed any of the stories, you can catch up on CBN4.com or visit our Facebook page. Until our next broadcast, I am a presenter, Arlen Christopher, saying thank you for watching.